Hey familia, Miranda here, and in today's video we're doing something a little bit special. So today we are celebrating me reaching level 33. I know, thank goodness for another year. It's a great gift to receive. And so in honor of today being a special day, I want to do a little special video for you guys. And so I've already kind of done the whole, film for every year that I've been alive. So I will leave that linked in the description box below for you guys to check out if you haven't done so already. I did do that like a couple years ago. But anywho, I wanted to, like I said, do something kind of special. So I came up with the idea to share with you guys today 33 of my favorite films from the year that I was born. So today we are going to be diving on into some films from 1991. All right, so we're just gonna go on ahead and dive right on in. I got 33 films to share with you guys. So first up, we have The Last Boy Scout here. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but I do always remember enjoying it. I think it's a great film. So I had to include that one. You guys, these are in no particular order. They're just 33 films that I enjoy from 1991. So then, of course, Silence of the Lambs. It's in this little set here. Eventually, I would like to pick up the, Criterion release, but I have this little set for now. Next up, we have Rush. This is a really, really good flick, you guys. A bit of a hard watch, though, because it does have to do with, like, drug addiction. You have these two undercover officers who are infiltrating into the whole, like, drug scene and everything, and, they start to become addicted and everything, and it's a bit sad, you guys, for real. And so, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a hard watch for sure. And then we have the Ninja Turtles, The Secret of the Ooze, the second film. And then, of course, can't forget Terminator 2, you guys. I mean, classic. It's definitely, like, the best of the franchise. So it's one that, I've always enjoyed the Terminator films in general. But, yeah, Terminator 2. All right, next up we have Beauty and the Beast. This one, honestly, I feel like this was my introduction to Disney and like Disney princesses. This is the one film that I kind of have the most memory of, like, first watching when I was a kid. And it always just, it holds up, you guys. It never gets old, and I love Beauty and the Beast. Belle is definitely one of my favorite princesses. Then we have Sleeping with the Enemy. This is an excellent film. Great performance from Julia Roberts in here. And also, obviously a delicate topic and stuff, and, relatable for, some women out there. And then we have Doc Hollywood. This is an absolute blast, you guys. So fun. Highly recommend you check this one out if you have not. But yeah, we got that one. And then we have Hook here. Classic. It's been a long time since I've actually seen this one, but definitely worth checking out. Obviously, you got Robin Williams in there. And then Nothing But Trouble. This one is definitely a bit of a weird watch. You have some very interesting characters in here, but it's definitely just kind of a dumb, funny, good time. All right, the next one I have here is Point Break. This one is excellent. Just a great little kind of action thriller, edge of your seat type of film, and just awesome performances throughout. Then we got John Turturro in Barton Fink. I highly recommend you check this one out. I found this one actually very interesting. But basically, he's at this hotel. He has this writer's block, and it's kind of a bit of an intense film, you guys, for sure. I mean, I used to be super into like writing and stuff like that, and so I can definitely, relate in part to some. But it's kind of a little bit of a wild film, and I just really enjoyed this entirely. All right, and then we got Thelma and Louise. This one, you guys, has held up beautifully. I always remember watching this on TV back in the day, and this one just never, ever gets old. And yeah, I mean, when this got the Criterion, definitely had to revisit it and everything, and it's held up beautifully, and I highly recommend it if you have not seen it. And then, of course, one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme flicks is Double Impact. This one, too, is great. I've actually watched this several times. I know hubby really enjoys this one, so we've watched it actually quite frequently. All right, one of my all-time favorites, and especially, coming from Ernest, we got Ernest Scared Stupid. This is by far my favorite from the Ernest films, and this one, I mean, it's perfect for Halloween time, and just in general, it's just some dumb fun for sure, and you gotta love Ernest, you guys. So we got Scared Stupid there, and of course, we got Bingo. This is another one, too, I grew up on, and I definitely think it's actually held up fairly well over the years, so we got that one. Of course, classic right here, we got Boys in the Hood. So this is another one too. I grew up watching this, and it never gets old. So we got that one. Of course, New Jack City. Can't go wrong there. And then we have A Night on Earth, you guys. This one was actually, I really enjoyed this one. It's a anthology of some sort, and basically you have a bunch of different stories that all take place in taxi cabs, but it's like all over the world. I forget exactly. So there's 5 cities. So there's 5 stories in here. Like I said, each taking place in a different like taxi cab somewhere in the world, and it's all like on the same night and everything. And so yeah, it's definitely one that I thoroughly enjoyed, and it was just kind of interesting. I mean, you know, conversations with like the taxi drivers, stuff like that, situations that happen and everything. And so yeah, definitely check this one out if you haven't. And then of course, can't go wrong with The Addams Family, another great family classic, and again, just some kind of cheesy fun. All right, so moving along, this one's actually a recent watch, and that is Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I mean, it's obviously in sort coming of age, but then it's also this, you know, kind of family comedy, and it's just some fun. You basically have the babysitter who dies, and, you know, the kids want to cover it up so their mom doesn't have to, like, come home from wherever she's at, and then their night or their day, whatever, just kind of turns into one thing after another, and so it's just kind of a hot mess, but it's definitely a fun one, so definitely check it out if you haven't. Then we have this film here with a young Brad Pitt, and that is called Across the Tracks. Basically, you have these 2 brothers that run track against each other and stuff, so I mean, it was a fairly decent watch, and I mean, I enjoyed it, so definitely it's another one too. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Then we got Sarah Plain and Tall. I was obsessed with the book when I was younger. I mean, it's not a very long chapter book, so I'm surprised they actually made like a full movie. Actually, there's like kind of 3 parts to it in a way, because there are 2 other films after this one, but Glenn Close and Christopher Walken are in here, and I think that they were both great, and it's just a nice little story that I enjoyed, you know, growing up, and so when they made the film, I was definitely on board for that. Then, of course, we have White Fang here, another classic, and then some pure cheesiness, Dolly Dearest. Yeah, super cheesy, super creepy. All right, so next up we have What About Bob? This one definitely needs a Blu-ray release. This movie is absolutely funny, and like I seriously would not want to cross paths with a Bob, that is for sure. So definitely a fun one. Then we have Fievel Goes West. That was actually always my favorite of the American Tell films, is Fievel Goes West. So yeah, we got that one. Then of course, can't forget here, Curly Sue. This one too is one that has held up beautifully. It is just such a great kind of heartfelt film. So we got Curly Sue there. And then this one I find highly underrated, to be honest. I think that this film is just absolutely hilarious, and that is Switch, but it's basically kind of like your kind of Freaky Friday scenario type thing and stuff. But basically you have the one guy, which ends up, you know, kind of dying, and then he turns into, you know, this woman or whatever, and so it's like his second chance, but as a woman. But he was a kind of, you know, super he was just a cheater, let's put it that way. So but it's a fun film, you guys, and I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't. And of course, can't forget about Ricochet. I love this film so much. Very also underrated film from Denzel. I thought he was great in here. John Lithgow too. And it's just a great little action thriller. And I'm always a fan of the scene on top of the tower. All right, so the last 3 films on my list, I unfortunately don't own physical copies of. I definitely need to, you know, pick them up at some point for sure. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and insert some pictures, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Popcorn is far from great. It's bad, it's cheesy, but if I'm being honest, I had a really, really good time with this one. I didn't find the storyline all that bad, and I thought that the theater scene was a plus. If anything, it's a love tribute to the horror genre and deserves more love. Problem Child 2, I love equally as the first film. I mean, what is not to love about the storyline, the performances, the comedy? I mean, it is just a super freaking good time, you guys. Can't help but love it. Father of the Bride is some classic Steve Martin. Gotta love it. I grew up on this one.
So those are all of my picks, you guys. Let me know if you guys enjoy any of these films. Now keep in mind, obviously I have not seen every film from 1991. I do have several in my collection that I have to get around to seeing. There's several that I have seen that I don't own physical copies of. But for now, these are just all of the picks that I decided to go with, my top 33 from 1991. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Join the family if you have not, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.